Coach, I'll start it off. Just what made the decision? Why did you decide to go ahead and do this, and pull the trigger for this time of your career?
So we thought it was important to be transparent with our team as to where things stood, because when you've been somewhere this long, you get frequent questions about, you know, when are you done, when are you going to retire, on and on. And I think it was important for potential recruits to know that where I stood, what might happen next, those kinds of things. So the first day of practice this year, we told the team, and then recruits started coming in and we were transparent with them. And then, you know, as what happened last Friday, word kind of gets out in baseball communities, and that information was made public. So this was certainly the time to be clear with everything.
Do you feel good about the decision?
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, it's time. You know, how do you know when? Other than your gut tells you, and mine's telling me yes.
Why? Do you know? Do you have any idea why your gut's telling you this is the time, or?
I just, you know, things aren't quite as simple in the job as they used to be when I started. There's just so much more involved, and it's, you know, when you've been doing it this long and you're up there a little bit in age, it's just a little bit harder to keep up.
Do you look back and just, what do you look back at the most? What do you remember the most as you're reflecting on your career?
Haven't thought about it yet, honestly. I mean, when I got here as a 27-year-old, didn't think about the future, thought about the next day. Then when you start getting into the competition part, the only thing ever on your mind is the next game, not the one that ended 10 minutes ago. So that's kind of how we've approached it for all these years.
You look up and it's 40 years, 41 years.
Yeah, well, going to be 42, and that's not very frequent anymore in this business. So, you know, we feel good about what we've done with the help of, obviously, great players, great assistant coaches, supportive administrations. I think everything that I tried to put into that statement this morning is how I feel.
Just kind of looking back at some of the things, I know you just said you don't like to look, you haven't really looked back yet, but I see you at those alumni things when you're smiling with all your people, and
well, they're drunk.
Yeah.
I'm not, but it's easy to smile.
No, just, you take a tremendous amount of pride in the number of people that have come through this and what they've done. Just, what do you think this program's legacy is, and what you've helped continue from Bill on to you?
Well, I would say that the players come first. That to me is what I learned from him, and hopefully what the next person will do as well.
You're getting emotional. Baseball means a ton to you. It's your life. Missouri State. Do you see, looking forward, life without that, or is it just another phase of that?
Well, it'll be hard to separate from something you've done this long, so that will take a little bit. So I'll give it a little time and see where it takes us, and I'll be up on that concourse at every game, and probably more practices than they want me to, watching and enjoying.
So you're just gonna be another Bill Rowe kind of. It's just gonna be a lot of you two.
He'll have somebody to stand with up there, and you know, I love the game, and I would rather be at a college game than a major league game. I mean, that's kind of what I grew up with, and to me, there's just more emotion involved. I mean, they play 162, we play 56. They get paid a lot. Our guys get some money to go to school, and the game itself is the same, but it's played differently.
What's it mean to you to have two former players playing prominent roles in your staff?
Well, and two former Springfield Cardinals. So I think that's cool. Yeah, and you know, I think on a financial front, on a alum front, recruit front, current player, current staff, I think program's in a really good spot.
Missouri State baseball has had Rowe and it's had you, a former player, now a coach. Would you want to see a former player take over for you?
Yes.
When you see the guys that you have,
Because it's the right person.
when you see the guys that you have on your staff, I think a lot of us are going to assume who the next guy could be if it hasn't been announced yet. But just these two guys that you have, and Joey and Nick and some of the others that are on there, just your confidence that those guys are the ones that can be the ones leaving this program going forward.
Yeah, I mean, that's not my decision, but I support them 1,000%.
I want to ask you about the Meadow Park days. You spent nearly half your career.
There's a lot of construction going on out there right now.
Different right now, but it was a subpar facility for D1. But how did you turn that into a home field advantage?
Well, people didn't like coming there for a few reasons. They had to get off their pricey turf, which we didn't have. The dimensions were very hitter friendly, and we had a lot of good hitters through those days. And we didn't think we could be beat there. And it's just kind of a combination of things. You start developing confidence in where you're playing, and it was, let's be honest, it was a very tough place to pitch. But the pitchers we had competed well, and had some big physical hitters, and that was a good combination.
Didn't you use your own vehicle, or Coach Thomas did, to drag the infield out there a lot of times?
Not a lot, but once, yes. Early on. There were incremental improvements made there over the years, and early on it wasn't something we were wrapped up in at all, because there wasn't the proliferation of million-dollar stadiums in college baseball, I would say, till probably around 2000 or so. And now they're pretty much commonplace in most good Division I programs. We're just very, very fortunate with Mr. Hammond's building the stadium and his relationship with Coach Rowe that we were able to move in here. I mean, this was even it was probably 10 years after the idea was hatched. So it was really nice on that day in April of 2000 to see this thing come to fruition, this stadium.
And the field in Ozark served a good transition period, didn't it?
No question. I mean, to us, that was like being in the big leagues after Metter. It was just 25 minutes from campus was a little bit of a detriment.
Coach, just about all the players that maybe didn't get to the major leagues, but were able to earn a little bit of a living, get to taste a little bit of professional baseball, and they all have you to thank for that. And how do you feel about that? Your legacy.
It was their work. Maybe I was smart enough to recruit some of the right guys. But that's, when guys come to this level, obviously, as we tell them day one, you need to excel in the classroom, you need to get your degree, you need to continue to develop as a player and help us try to win championships, and you need to involve yourself in the community and help set yourself up for the future. So, I think they all want to do it, but it's not realistic in every case. But you want to look back and say you had a good experience, and hopefully the majority have.
We've heard you say one game at a time for however long you've been here, just keeping the focus
That's
on
just for you.
Okay, yeah. Keeping the focus on the next game. But do you foresee any challenges going into just for you personally, just thinking about the last time and things, just taking some things in, or?
Not really. Honestly, no. I just want to beat Louisiana Monroe on that Friday in February right now.
Are you ready for the goodbye tour through the Valley?
Well, they might give me the finger at most places. So I'm not too concerned about it. Most of the schools don't draw that well anyway. I can hear them, I can tell you that. And they've wanted to say goodbye to me for a long time. They've just said it other ways.
What about this roster you have? From what we've heard throughout the fall, this is a great roster. You have some great
like
prospects.
it a lot. I mean, I think, as I've said before, the 6 portal guys will all help us. I don't want to get into naming everybody because I'll forget them, but I like the makeup, the character, the work ethic. Obviously every year at this time I say that, but I think it's a really good group.
I mean, you've stuck around here for all this time. We've kind of asked you in previous things why you've done that, but when you look at it now, you said it's 42 years is a long time.
Yeah, it is. So I say this, if you like where you're working with the people and you like where you're living, to me, that's the two most important things beyond attaching yourself to a certain name of an institution or making a little bit more money. So, been fortunate with the people we've worked with, and you know, my wife, I met her, she was working at the university. All three daughters went to school here, so we're pretty ingrained. I've been here since 1975, so this is our home.